Alrighty, guys. Exciting news here. We are talking about NXL World Cup 2023 and what might happen here. We've got some ideas and speculations here at Punishers as far as what we might think happen. So if you guys like this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys after the intro.
I'm so free.
Alrighty, Doug. I've got some speculations.
You got some thoughts?
I got some thoughts.
Okay.
I've got some ideas. I want to hear your opinion on all of this stuff.
Okay.
So, first, let's talk about NXL Chicago. So, something came back from the dead.
The GI teams are now using the Halo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Never thought I would have seen that again.
Yeah, and we just talked about this in Paintball News for September, as far as like the fact that they were using it. It was a surprise, right? Because the Triad has been what the GI teams have been using.
They've been pushing that for about a year now.
Yeah, right. And the teams have been using the Triad, too. And then NXL Chicago shows up, and
No more
we
Triad.
went backwards.
You did. We kind
Went
of took a time warp.
Yeah, so the question is I was watching some footage of, like, social media as well as Go Sports.
The live cast or whatever.
I noticed something, Doug.
I didn't actually pick up on this. Joe had to point it out to me.
Yeah, I don't think many people have, but if you guys actually look at the shape of the loader and everything, it was different.
The shell is really different.
The shell is different. It is not a Halo 2 shell, and that makes me curious as to see if, like, are we going to see a new rendition of the Halo 2 that has more modern features, has, you know, a toolless battery, has toolless disassembly, stuff like that.
Maybe just one where I don't accidentally pinch wires as I'm trying to put it back together.
That too, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, the Halo 2 for $85, not a bad option,
Not
right?
a bad option at all.
It's going to be cheaper than, like, the Spire. It's going to be cheaper than some of these other, the LTR, the Die LTR.
Right.
It's going to be cheaper than the HK Army Sonic. But I'm really curious to see what happens at World Cup for this because, you know, for the fact that the GI teams are not using the Triad.
That's a pretty strong stance.
And then they show up with a Halo 2 that doesn't, like, if to the naked eye, when you just glance at it, it looks like it. But then there was some footage that I watched where it actually looked like the shell separated in the middle.
It's got this like curvature, this line to it.
Yeah.
I speculate that that's just aesthetic, that it's still going to come apart side to side. I hope that's not the case because to toollessly just take it off the top would be so much easier for cleaning. That was always the bitch of it with the Halo, because I had a Halo as well a while back. And then the speed, so my old speed feed for my Halo, this is how fucking old I am, was one of those ones where it truly sits flat on top and has that just like ramp. But the footage that we saw, their speed feeds, it maintains the angle like this. So I don't know, like maybe it's outfitted better now for speed feeds. I am really curious to actually get some, because we haven't been able to talk to anybody about it. Like we haven't been told
Correct.
anything.
And this is, guys, this is not anything that we've been told from, anything that I've been told from inside the industry. This is just speculation stuff that we've seen. So
just from sitting scrolling.
are we going to see something different from Empire, from GI at World Cup when it comes to a loader?
I think yes.
Okay.
I think if they're to the point where people are winning tournaments with it and they're field testing it right now, I think Cup would be the time to come public with it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, next up, DLX/Shocker.
Have we been able to get Luxes?
No.
Or Shockers?
No.
Like very minimal. Like I haven't really seen too many.
Okay, so here's the thing. Well, I should say this. I can get Luxes. They dropped the price.
Yep.
The last time that they dropped pricing, there was a new gun.
That's a pretty consistent theme, right? Like that's a pretty consistent tactic. Not a bad thing by any means. If that's the hint, then boys and girls get ready.
I think that we may see a new marker from DLX at World Cup.
I think so too.
For a few different reasons. They released the Luxe X at World Cup in 2019, somewhere in there, 2018. Then they released the TM40, and DLX is one of the few in the industry that releases their guns at World Cup.
Yep.
So it will be very curious to see whether or not we see a new Luxe at World Cup. Now here's the other question. Do we see a Shocker as well? Because
I think so.
Shocker pricing has also dropped.
It's been dropped for longer than Lux pricing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean the retail price point on the Luxes went from $1,600 to $1,400. You know, we still have this pretty one that's at $1,600 with the custom ammo, but Same thing with Shocker. Shocker was 900, went to 750. And then like your custom edition anos and all that stuff are 900.
Like that Hypno one that we had, or whatever,
Right.
that was like 900.
So, like, are we going to see a new rendition of both? Are we going to see, like, that would be a huge bold statement for them to not only release a Luxe, but also release a Shocker.
I say yes. I think if they were to do a new Shocker, I think it'll be pretty resemblant to the amp, but I think they're going to... Here's the thing. That HK Shocker amp that they released was
very good,
money.
yeah.
I really wouldn't be surprised if they cross over some traits from that into whatever the new edition of Shocker is. As far as Luxe, though, I have no idea what they will do.
I think that's a separate video that we got to talk about.
Probably.
Like, what would we do to the Luxe? Okay, so potentially a new marker from Luxe, potentially a new loader from GI, or a new version of the Halo
Updated
2.
Halo or something.
Or maybe they come out and say, hey, here's the Triad, it's ready to go.
Yeah, maybe the Triad's finally at production value.
Yeah. So those are two potential things. Third thing we got to talk about, we've got a CS3.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 180R.
But we have no Geo.
We have a LV2.
I haven't seen a new Geo.
We don't have a Geo
in the store in at least a year.
I haven't been able to get them. And just saying, haven't been able to get Geos.
And they did drop the CS3 at Cup last year.
Right before Cup. Yep. They released it like, I don't know why they did that. That was dumb. We talked about that. But
yeah,
they released it right before Cup. And our first hands-on experience was at Cup.
That line was insane.
Do we see a new rendition of the Geo?
Yes. I am going to put my ticker in the hat. I say yes.
Do we see like a complete overhaul of the Geo platform? Or do we just see like a Geo 4.5?
I think it'll be a 5. It's been long enough that I think it'll be a 5. Planet, dude, so like for me, sorry guys, the Geo 4 was nothing more than the CS1 with like a CS2 resemblant like top body.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, look at the trigger frames. Look at the foregrip is literally a CS1 foregrip.
Planet's literally like the Apple of paintball stuff. But everyone loves Apple and everyone loves Planet because
you can't deny it because the quality. That's the thing. Like, yes, I can sit here and like jab at them for like, you're not that creative, but like, does it fail? Not really.
Yeah.
So I can't fault them for it.
Is it easy to use?
I don't anticipate something groundbreakingly new. I would hope for it. Like, please impress me.
For sure. Yeah.
Wine and dine me a little bit, but like, I don't think it's gonna be all that spectacular.
Okay. Last but not least, we saw a Dye DLS at World Cup last year.
And now we have the Icon.
And now we have the DSR Plus Icon.
And there's been the M3 Plus has been it for their flagship markers for
a long time.
Now how are we doing on getting them stock wise?
Can't get them.
You can
get them. Can't get them 3 Plus.
Price hasn't dropped.
I think that there's a lot of wiggle room with them 3 Plus. I think that the DLS, speaking freely on the DLS, I think the DLS was an interesting idea. It was a way for Dye to like mix up the market a little bit and everything else like this. It didn't work too well. There was issues with the DLS to say the least.
I would call that one when it was working. I enjoy. I do like a poppy shot. It has a very poppy shot. I do enjoy that. It was cool, but yeah, you can't. I wouldn't call that a marker that I would trust.
Well, the DLS in warm weather is good.
Yeah.
But you had to like do things to the bolt system to get it to work. And
you had to add a thicker O-ring, right? Because the bolt speed was getting there.
You had to actually add same size O-ring, but it was the clutch O-ring. And it was basically like when it got cold, that got hard, and the bolt speed was a lot faster than when it was warm. Slowed the bolt speed down. So, anyways, do we see a new high end from Dye? I think that's something like people are, everyone always thinks about Luxe. They think about, Planet Eclipse, obviously. But do we see Dye come out and say, hey, look at this, here's an M4?
I say if they're going to come out with anything new, it'll be a different entry-level speedball marker. That weird take, but just like the M3 Plus is what it is. They've been really pushing the mid-end. Yeah, I think
a lot more people are receptive to the DSR Plus than they are the M3.
Yes, even like myself included. Like if I had to shoot Dye, I would go for the DSR Plus with the IM Pro kit immediately. But I'm going to go against the grain and say that I think they'll actually drop a new low end marker.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's room for that too. Like the CZR has been around for a long time. I personally think that like the market for that has been captured by the Empire Mini GS and the Axe 2.0 and the Etha 3. But I personally think if they're gonna do anything, they're gonna do a new M4, M3 Plus, M3 Pro, whatever.
M series gun.
M series, yeah, their high-end marker, because honestly, to your point, the DSR Plus with the IM Pro kit, like, yes, there are some premium features with the M3 Plus, but most people prefer the shot of the DSR Plus.
Largely.
With the IM Pro kit, it's reliable, and the efficiency and all that stuff, and the size and everything fits better for most guys. So yeah, but it would be I'd be really curious to see, like, hey, do they?
I want to see what they would change if they were to do a new high-end marker. I want to see what
the
it would
M3.
Be. Yeah,
I think that there's market for like toollessness, right? Like the only marker out there. Yeah, and like
maybe they'll drop a mech frame for the M3. They
could, but I think that they got to release a new gun. The M3 has been beaten down. Like it's been out for so long.
When I
they
started
need something
here,
new.
When I started here in 2020, the M3 Plus was already out at that point, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you'd already gone through one or two of them by that point. I remember an early discussion in my early days between him and Keegan fighting over which gun is bigger, the M3 Plus or the LV, I guess 1.5 or 1.6 at that point in time. I remember that. So
yeah,
it's been a long time.
Don't get me wrong. I like the M3 Plus, but I definitely think that there's wiggle room there. Like there's stuff that you can do to make the gun better.
Always.
You know, and maybe that's something that we talk about in another video. But anyways, guys, lots of speculation going on here. You know, I think that there's going to be some mix-ups at World Cup. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what you guys got to say in the comments as far as, you know, like, are we going to see a new loader? Are we going to see, or, you know, are we going to see new tanks? Like, whatever the case may be. What do you guys think that the industry is going to be doing for NXL World Cup? And, yeah, I'm super excited. It's a month down the road. It's going to be a really good November. And, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, if you have any other inside info too that we don't have, put that in the comments right now. Go do it. But if you did like this video and you want to pick up anything that's here or anything else that you you know, kind of need for paintball from Punishers, check out the links in the description, and we will catch you guys in the next speculation video.
Thanks, guys.
I'm so free.